Hey everyone, welcome back to Cars IQX. Every once in a while a car comes along that shakes up the supercar world. It doesn't just make you stop and stare, it makes you rethink what's possible. Today, we're diving into one of those cars, a machine that's already generating hype even before it hits the streets, the brand new Lamborghini Temerario. Now, Lamborghini never does subtle, right? Their cars are loud, aggressive, and unapologetically wild. But this time, they've gone a step further. They're replacing the legendary Huracán, a car that's been around for over a decade and has become a true icon, with something completely new. And trust me, the Temerario is more than just a replacement, it's the next big leap for Lamborghini. So buckle up, because for the next few minutes we're going to talk design, power, performance, hybrid technology, interior, pricing, how it compares to past models. And along the way I'm going to throw in some fun quiz questions for you guys. So stay tuned and play along in the comments. First things first, the name. Lamborghini always digs into their tradition of naming cars after famous fighting bulls. And this time, they've gone with Temerario, which translates to something like reckless or fearless. Pretty fitting, don't you think? A car that's fearless, bold and reckless in the best possible way. Before I get deeper, let's test your Lambo knowledge. Which Lamborghini model was named after a bull that fought in the bull ring in Seville in 1947? Hint, it starts with MI. Drop your answer in the comments, I'll reveal it later in the video. All right, let's talk design. The first time you lay eyes on the Temerario, it just screams Lamborghini. The sharp angular lines are all there, that signature low stance. The aggressive front end with those sharp LED headlights that almost look like angry eyes staring right at you, it's unmistakable. But here's what's cool, they've evolved the design. It's not a copy of the Huracán, not at all. The roofline is concave, almost like a scoop, channeling air straight down to the spoiler for maximum aerodynamics. At the rear, you get these hexagonal exhausts sitting inside an aggressive diffuser and a spoiler that's not just for looks, it's fully functional. In short, it's art that just happens to go over 200 miles per hour. But design is never just about looks, it's about performance. Every crease, every vent, every spoiler has a purpose. The aero package on this car generates way more downforce than the Huracán ever did. If you go for the track-focused Allegorita version, you're looking at up to 158% more downforce compared to the Huracán Evo. That's insane. It's like the car is glued to the road. Okay, let's pop the hood, or, well, peek under the engine cover, because this is where the Temerario gets really exciting. So Lamborghini decided to retire the naturally aspirated V10 of the Huracán. I know, many enthusiasts shed a tear over this, because that V10 was one of the best-sounding engines ever built. But don't worry, what they've given us in return is pure madness. The Temerario comes with a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, but here's the kicker, it revs to 10,000 RPM. That's motorcycle territory. And they didn't stop there, this engine is paired with 3 electric motors. One motor is wedged between the engine and gearbox, while the other 2 power the front wheels. Together, this hybrid setup gives the Temerario a jaw-dropping 907 horsepower. Just let that sink in. 907, this isn't just fast, it's brutal. The kind of speed that pushes you back into the seat and makes you laugh out loud because it feels unreal. And here's the performance stat you've been waiting for. 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 2.7 seconds. With launch control, some tests even suggest 4 seconds. Top speed over 210 miles per hour. Yeah, this thing is a rocket. If you had 900 horsepower at your disposal, what's the very first thing you'd do with it? Smash it on a straight road, drift around a corner, or keep it chill and just enjoy the cruise? Comment your answer. I'm curious to see what you guys would do. Now let's talk about something people often overlook, drivability. Lamborghini has given the Temerario their LDVI2 Duro system. This is like the car's brain. It predicts how much grip you'll have, adjusts the power, and even lets you drift like a pro if you want to. Imagine a car that's wild enough to shred tires, but smart enough to keep you out of a ditch. That's the balance Lamborghini's aiming for. And while it's not exactly designed for off-roading, this car isn't helpless on tricky surfaces. The hybrid AWD system gives it traction in conditions that would leave older supercars stranded. Think wet roads, tricky corners, or even light gravel, you're still in control. Which Lamborghini model was built specifically to handle rough terrain, almost like an off-road supercar? Hint, it's not the Urus. Let's see who the real Lambo historians are. All right, now picture yourself sliding into the interior. This is where Lamborghini has really stepped things up. The Temerario feels less like a car and more like a cockpit. Lamborghini calls it the pilot's seat for a reason. There are 3 synchronized digital screens, one for the driver, one for the center, and one for the passenger. You can swipe information between them, almost like you're using a tablet. Want to share the navigation with your passenger? Just swipe. Want telemetry or lap data on the central screen? Done. The interior also comes with augmented reality navigation, telemetry recording, and even a dash cam. So if you're on track, the car literally records your performance. And here's something that surprised me, comfort. Lamborghini has made this car genuinely more livable. There's more headroom, more legroom, and comfort seats that don't feel like slabs of carbon fiber. This means you can actually enjoy a road trip in it without needing a chiropractor afterward. If you got to sit inside a Lamborghini for the very first time, what's the first button or feature you'd want to try out? Would you mess with launch control, blast the sound system, or just sit there revving the engine? Let me know. Now let's tackle the question on everyone's mind, price. The Lamborghini Temerario will start around $390,000 in the US and about £260,000 in the UK. That's not cheap, but compared to Lamborghini's flagship Revuelto, it's actually a bit of a bargain. Of course, once you start adding options, carbon fiber packs, and customization through Lamborghini's Ad Personam program, you're easily looking at $500,000. Here's another quiz question for you. Which Lamborghini holds the crown as the most expensive new model ever sold? Hint, it's a hyper-limited edition, and only a handful were ever made. Drop your guesses! Now let's compare the Temerario to its legendary predecessor, the Huracán. The Huracán was iconic. It sold nearly 29,000 units, making it Lamborghini's best-selling model ever. And that V10 engine gave us one of the best soundtracks in car history. But it was also intimidating for some drivers. It was loud, raw, and demanded respect. The Temerario, on the other hand, is still wild, but it's smarter. The hybrid system makes it smoother in traffic. The AWD system makes it more approachable, and the interior tech makes it feel like a 21st century spaceship. So, while some purists will miss the V10 howl, most drivers will probably find the Temerario more exciting overall because it's both savage and usable. All right, let's wrap this up with the big picture. The Lamborghini Temerario is not just a car, it's a statement. It's Lamborghini saying, yes, we can go hybrid. Yes, we can embrace the future. But we're still going to do it our way with insane power, jaw-dropping design, and a driving experience that feels like nothing else on the planet. This car bridges two worlds, the raw drama of the past and the high-tech innovation of the future. And honestly, it might just be the most exciting Lamborghini of this decade. Now, before we end, here's the final quiz for you guys. If you had the choice between driving the Huracan's screaming V10 one last time or being one of the first to test drive the hybrid V8 Temerario, which would you pick and why? I want to see your answers down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed hanging out and talking about the Lamborghini Temerario today, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Cars IQX. We've got tons more car deep dives, reviews, and quizzes coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Until next time, stay fearless, stay passionate, and keep that engine roaring. See you in the next video.